I'm just going to do a little introduction. I'm here with Tammy Walker. She's going to explain to me our new dashboards that are going to be available to us next year.
Okay. The dashboards have several tabs that you can work with. That you can work with, just a general overview, and that's going to show all your attendance and discipline. And it shows your performance summary, state assessments. These are just, like 1 of 10 metrics met goal and 1 metric met. This is just kind of an overview. If you go more specific, you can go to district information, and that gives you, bless you. District information gives you the demographics of all your stuff. It tells you percentages of your demographics, male to female, Hispanic to white.
Okay. And that's not something that's been available to us online before?
No,
Okay,
and more than likely for teachers, actual teachers, they won't have access to this right here. They'll more than likely just have access to the students part of it.
Okay.
You can go into the students and pick, like myself, I can pick whether I want to go look at a high school kid or an elementary kiddo.
Okay.
And if I go into the high school, it's loading, and it brings me up every student alphabetically. I can look at that student.
And all of their information is currently in there right now?
All of their
It's not-
information.
Okay.
Here is his assessments with the new assessment rating. Some of those were brought up.
Right. And so there's different colors I see. Is that?
Yes. This is like the last 4 weeks class absence. If it's in the red, obviously, I'm pretty sure that's probably not good because she's got a 16.1% absence ratio for the last 4 weeks.
Right. Okay.
So in the red is not good.
And then over on the assessment scores, it's also
The red
The red
indicates that
indicates-
they probably were not successful on that particular
Okay, that's
that
helpful.
particular star. And I think you can actually let's see. Let's click on this one right here. Let's click on a student, and it kind of broadens the horizon. It goes much more into detail
okay.
when you look at the child, because you can look at, just for this particular student, you can look at his demographic information, his academic dashboard, but you can look at his transcript, his attendance, his state assessments, local assessments, his grades and credits.
And so the local assessments being benchmarks, or the local assessments being report card grades, or
It would normally be benchmarks. We're not to that point yet to get the benchmarks to coincide with that can be brought in, like the EOCs, because changing companies this year, we were all at a loss as to how we could pull in the assessments this year with the new company. I've just gotten documentation on how to pull that in now, so we know that we can get the star in. But most benchmarks are done from old test,
right.
from previous tests given. So now they're trying to come up with a system to allow the benchmarks kind of to be on the basis of the EOCs, to where we can pull those in as well. But you have to use a specific benchmark that will work with the program. So they're not to that point yet where the local assessments are going to be up there.
Okay. Yeah.
And you can see it's all blank.
Yeah, and my concern was, in the elementary we have that Renaissance program where we can send them in and they can take a 20-minute test, and then we can see which objectives they're needing. But y'all don't have anything like that in secondary, where
Not
it
in
shows
secondary.
you how their growth or their decline or
No.
flatline or okay.
No, we don't have that. We don't have that right now, and that's what they're trying to do with the local assessment. They're trying to get a across-the-board benchmark to work with that particular company, kind of like y'all have, that we can pull in and see where they're at and what
Right.
they need and what they need
that's,
more of.
Yeah, that's really beneficial.
But when you click on this kiddo, if you look at his attendance, it's going to show you the last 4 weeks, last 8 weeks, year to date. It shows the days absent, how many. And when you click on the More button, you can go by grading period, you can go historical. So it's got a lot of good features, because as a superintendent, he wants to be able to click on one kid. If he's interested in one kid for some reason, he can click on him and he can go right through. Now he can just go to the actual ISD board dashboard and pull up the overall consensus of how many were successful on this test,
Right.
and this test, and how many were not successful.
Right.
And get an overall average.
Yeah, that's
But he can
really
also
great.
pull it per student and look at the actual individual student, you know, if need be. And this is more of what teachers would want this end of it. They're going to want the student end of it just so that they can pull that kiddo up and look at his state assessments. We'll go to his state assessment tab, and it tells you right here. And if you click more, you can go to the reporting categories, and it loads the objectives, and it gives the value of the objectives.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
So, and it tells you, you know, what level his, you know, where he was at.
Can you also do this by class? By I mean, I know that might be a little more complicated in the secondary because they take different levels of class, but as the lower grades, could you pull it up as a 6th grade class or 5th grade class to see, just like we would get the score, that's how we get it. We get
Right,
it summarized on a
right.
piece of paper, but can you do it that way?
I believe you can. We would have to go back and look at the class list on the original. Let's go back to here and see. That wasn't where I wanted to go.
You may have to answer that. He's might have found Ricky.
Yes, sir. What do you mean? I haven't heard of any alternative schedule, so I don't really know. You might ask Miss Henderson, because there's only about 50 kids gone. Oh, well, you've got him for all day. Well, just, yeah. We'll just leave it for all day, and if you come back, and if you're back before we'll have to pay him for half a day regardless. If he wants to leave, we can pay him for half a day. We won't need coverage though. I don't even know who's going, but whoever's left here will cover the rest of them. There's only 50 something going, and there's only 139 total, so there'll only be like 70 or 80 kids here. And there's not that many staff going. All right. No, didn't as many qualify. Okay. Bye bye. Okay. Let's look at campus list. So I don't think that